in Trevors. John Weaver again, West Coast, Roseman, California. 3:03 in the morning. It's the 9th of February. February. Yeah, I'm losing it this morning. First one. Oh yeah, trying to get some things off my chest before I get into a real roll downhill. I don't take too kindly when it comes down for people trying to entice me into things. I'm an isolationist, of course. Protect myself a great deal. I don't know how God would use a schmuck like me in the first place. I had a hard time trying to put my faith and trust in something that kind of screwed me over. I kept thinking, and I know it's kind of screwed up. My brother always kept telling me. Actually, he kept posing a question at me all the time. And he said, "Where's your faith in God?" Sometimes I'd say Cleveland or last train at Clarksville. Some kind of smart ass remark. Rev, this is an anniversary of my mother's passing 11 years ago. Not the date, but the month. The 19th is when she finally went over to God. First, well, she almost dead, but came back, stayed around, and I don't know why. She should have just passed over on the 1st of February. So, February has always been one of the roughest months, even when I'm going to community college as an adult. I'm 58 years old. They celebrated a birthday on that one. It gets harder and harder for me to miss my family because I have to deal with the pain on a constant daily basis. I figure it's my lot in life, my punishment in life. I loved my family too damn much. And maybe that's my punishment. But dealing with all these schmucks out there who are trying to entice me and tell me that I gotta believe in one way or another, it just rattles my cage. I mean, earlier this morning, I came across your video regarding. I mean, you sent it a few days ago, so naturally YouTube's got a long memory, doesn't it? And you had your concerns about this one guy in this Action Network who is really doing the politics and religion at the same time, and people think they're going to have Christianity take over the world, or at least the country over here. We're going to have this revolution. I'm like, give me a freaking break. I mean, dude, I'd like to. There's all sorts of salty language to talk about this situation, but yeah, I know, not exactly the most appropriate thing, especially if I happen to get my mouth going. Yeah, it gets me concerned, Rev. It scares me. That rattles my cage, I guess, but if I allowed fear in this situation over here, it would really be driving me nuts, and I hate to be driven nuts by fear. It's already nutty enough as it is. So I'm going to have these other people out here screaming and yelling at people because they want an army. They want. The usual us versus them, and we keep forgetting shit. This is why I did the first video going off on a tangent like I did. Because I realized after learning a hell of a lot of things and cramming into my head, I still don't know anything about humanity. I don't care if I get the book smart information shoved into the damn neurons. It's not that. It's trying to put things into perspective, into context, you know? Couldn't figure it out a long time ago because I didn't have the maturity, age, wisdom, or anything else going on in my head. You know, shoved through a public education system, which I still support. And then you come out like looking like, and then go through college, and you're more like, eh? I have to joke about it. I couldn't deal with it when I was a kid back then. I didn't have the age perspective wisdom. Didn't have anything else back then. You're supposed to cram about 2.5 years in your head, and you're supposed to get about an AA certificate, like you're going through public education. You're supposed to learn this stuff. You're supposed to pass. You're supposed to. You're supposed to. You're supposed to. I ticked off my mother when I couldn't do it. She gave me two options: homeless or working my butt out for full time, and I did for 30 freaking years, more than that. A couple of trade colleges just to learn something else. Medical transcription and insurance terminology. Does that count? General office work? I'm still a schlub. Retail I knew. Math I was lousy at, but retail I knew. But even during those days, I was still learning that I was lacking education and kicking my butt because I didn't go through the college and take care of it as I should. Disappointed my family. I felt like I disappointed them and it disappointed me and God at the same time. Was there a purpose for me going through this stuff? I don't know. I was learning through other things. Reading papers, magazines, watching the news, see what the hell was going on in the world, see how it's going to hell in a handbasket during those days. Jeez. You think the 80s and 90s were more eventful? Let alone the damn 70s? 60s I was too damn young to pay attention to. More in the mid of it. I see things going absolutely bonkers. So I wonder I get to relate more and more with the older generation because they're saying that they had said the same thing to me over and over again. Yeah, just wait till it happens to you. Yeah, well, it did happen to me. I got old, I got older, and I started questioning things left and right, Rev. I questioned God a great deal. I pissed off at him. I guess I pissed off more at myself instead of him. I didn't know what he expected from me when I was being saved. I don't know what things I should have been doing or had been doing and just got things screwed up so much that I don't know what's going on anymore. Hearing these guys trampling all over the place on videos and screaming and yelling at people left and right. I pay them no attention. I give them no heed on this one because to me they're just idiots. Aren't they? I mean, are they that much of morons that we can't deal and trust these guys? I don't. I don't. Especially, I'm going to have somebody coming out there and start screaming and yelling at me. I got to believe in this. I got to believe in that, and then start sticking out the hand for donations at this point over here, listening to his ranting and raving. So I got to pay this guy because he's going off the deep end. What scares me is people actually listen to this damn crap. That's the thing that scares the hell out of me more. Is what they're going off the deep end and expect everybody else to go off the deep end with them. I always made a joke about I'm going to stand aside and sell tickets and watch it. Laugh at them. I don't think God wanted me to do that in the first place, but I don't feel the urge to go to combat at this point, you know? Go to war with these people because they're at war with us or for some reason. I keep thinking it's us versus them shit we're going through. Forgive my language, but I'll get saltier and saltier the more this video goes on, so forgive me on that one there. Sometimes my language is not so good. I may have been an English major or trying to be an English major, but I think I graduated more in a salty sailor than I did anything else. Not just because I hung around with my brother. I mean, 8 years older and learned a hell of a lot of language. Now I'll also learn language from Ma and Grandma going after each other. Oh, some of the stories I learned about my grandmother and then wondered how such a classy dame like her actually learned how to cuss. But my mother learned worse. That being said, we're supposed to be the salt of the earth. I guess we're not that salty, are we? God had reasons. And sometimes I got a hell of a lot of anger and confusion on that one. Why? Why'd you save me, God? Why? And the thing is, we'll never know. At least probably I'll never know until the day I go upstairs and then finally learn. And maybe there was a purpose. I mean, we didn't get put on Earth for just because. I think it was for something else. But Don't get me started on an abilities thing. Like, I'm noble. I'm going to go through this thing because I'm so noble. I'm not noble. I'm one screwed up human being like everybody else here. I'm imperfect like everybody else. I know that. I accepted that. And I think I ticked off Christ more times than anything else, or maybe other people have. But maybe God and Christ has got a patience tolerance level for me. Not that I've lied. I tried to keep the honesty going as much as possible. And if I happen to start doing the mistruths at this point, then I know I'm not doing what I should have been doing in the first place. I mean, these days I already made that commitment, trying to save and salvage my ass a long time ago. Long story sent onto my videos regarding how I got to my place right now. Suffice it to say that God was trying to get my attention one way or another. He got it already. I was a true alcoholic at this point over here. Sometimes I'm alcoholic like-minded. I still have the self-deception going on, self-destructive nature going on. That You ever had sheriff's department coming over to you or your local constabulary trying to do a health and safety check on you, a welfare check? I scared my therapist, Doc. Rev, I scared her. I was saying some things in previous videos concerning about how the hell I was feeling and why I was canceling appointments. It was close to my birthday, and I scared the crap out of her. And some of the stuff I did say in there, probably feeling low and miserable, and probably feeling like, okay, that's it. I'm taking the final pathway out of here. Dare I mention if I happen to say the word suicide, it's going to be raising flags and heckles and everything else out there. But even just mentioning or talking about it scares the hell out of the systems anyway. So I have to keep disguising it with something else there, Rev. And I was feeling low enough that I just had the urge. I feel it. Sometimes I want to keep talking about it at great length at this point over here. That's why people don't talk about it, because they don't want to feel that calling. They don't want to feel like, okay, I gotta get up. I gotta, and just get brainwashed into the damn thing. And feeling the pain so damn badly, they want to get rid of it for the final time, and just can't deal with it anymore. I mean, we do have limitations, don't we? As human beings, sometimes spiritually and mentally and physically, we have our limitations. People expect us to be like Hercules and overcome it like crazy. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we can't. Or my grandmother would say, can't's a sluggard, too lazy to try. Well, is that either self-destruction or is that self-preservation? Might as well ask me the question on there, Rev. What did I choose? Well, I'm still alive and still breathing, so I think self-preservation at this point. And because I've been over there on the other side, it still scares the crap out of me, so that's why I don't choose it as much. I'm not ready for it yet, Doc. Sorry, Rev. Yeah, I know. Every time I keep saying Reverend, it's always a doctor I'm always talking about. But anyway, Rev. Been there, done that. Don't like it. I don't. And then only a lifelong of not understanding God at this point over here. I mean, it should have elated me that, yes, there'll be a time I'll be going and feeling that experience one more time, and I should be chasing after that. No, because actually it's the fear and terror of it all. It keeps separating me from Christ and God. I know they mean well. I keep telling them it's on me. I'm blaming myself for this damn stuff. Or maybe I'm just not ready. And if that's the case, then I need to stay alive and do stuff. Not waste life, but not go out and go full crazy like I've seen other people. I'm trying to deal with my existence day by day. It's all the thing I can do. It's the only thing I know. And I go through a long ass grieving and mourning process at this point ever since I lost my family. I mean, the capper was losing my brother. was back in 2018, September. September 8th. Ma eventually was February 19th, 2013. And I'm still going through it. I'm wearing this because it's cold. I know it's a black top of a long john, but still keeps me a little bit warm in the mornings, especially when it's cold outside right now. Dealing, just dealing with this crap. Come on. I do my channel, The Diary of the Griever, named John Weaver, because I want to get my thoughts and my voices out there. In any event, I happen to go under. If I actually make that final decision, do the final pathway, shall we say. There has to be a record on this. There has to be a trail. There has to be something that tells people what the hell happened. How many stories have we come across in our lifetimes? Reading and seeing on news and any other kind of source. How many people have died already? It didn't leave a trail. Didn't leave people to understand why. A short note, and that's about it. I'm sorry. There has to be more to it than that. Always had to be a story. There had to be a downslide on this one. There had to be some kind of adventure or some kind of pathway or something that the person would have to go through till he makes that, or she, or they, making that decision. It has to be. You just don't make it willy-nilly saying, oh, I'm just going to die today and think I'll come back to life the next day. That doesn't work. I mean, once you're out of the damn body and they're not fighting like crazy to keep your body moving, I mean, you're dead, okay? If the surgeons didn't try to fight like hell to keep me alive, and yes, I owe these guys a great deal. I do. And I'm still pissed off at the medical establishment for making me a lab rat and a damn guinea pig and a pin cushion at the same time. A lifetime of getting stuck and stabbed and medicated is like, okay, no wonder I got a lifetime of PTSD. They called it white lab coat syndrome, but screw that noise. It's still PTSD. Not to mention having almost a near-death experience when you have a tire fall on your damn face. Yeah, long stories on those. But that's why I do the videos, to talk about the long stories. It still scares me. Not dealing with the truth, but dealing with the reality of it. Eventually, I'm going to be dying and I'll meet my family. I mean, it should give me some kind of comfort, right? It still scares the hell out of me because I still got to go through the damn process. And I'm not ready to die yet. Here's the thing that's driving me crazy. You want to hear the crux on this one here? Rev, have you ever been cursed? I'm not lying. I'm not laughing at this damn thing. You see this face? Have you been cursed? Well, lucky you. You said no. You don't think so? I had. Well, if I believe such things, and it's been screwing my mind around a great deal. My brother had a fear. He didn't. He almost died a few times in his lifetime, but he came back. Almost. But the thing that scared the hell out of him is when he discovered our own bloodline, our own part of the bloodline, of the Cameron line. The males don't live past the age of 60. We had about 3 or 4 uncles. Right after they reached the age of 60, they passed away from various things. Could have been a coincidence, or could have been a pattern. My brother thought it was a pattern. Scared the hell out of him to a point where he... long story on this one here, let's shorten it up. 8 years difference, 2 different fathers. My brother, he actually had a father, new one. Me, sperm donor. Hit and run up. Guy did his thing and ran off and hid forever. Long story on that one. Too many videos. Too many therapy sessions on that one. Anyway, get. Go on. Thank you. Dealing with a constant roach war in this place for a couple of years already. So Dave talks to his father, different bloodline altogether. And his father is trying to tell him, look, Charlotte, we can live as far as 70 or 80 years old and still enjoy life. So I reassured my brother just before he reached the age of 50. My brother was having a conniption fit. Because after he did his research, he was telling me about the damn stuff. So it kind of stuck in my back of the head at that point. But then, he dies at the age of 60. And I kept remembering some of the uncles I had after they reached the age of 60. They passed away. You see where this is going, Rev? You're actually understanding where this is coming from? And how I feel like I'm on a damn time zone. I'm on a timer right now. Once I reach the age of 60, am I going to die or not? All right, who am I to say? Who am I to say this damn thing? I could have died today or tomorrow or any other kind of day. I should just be grateful for the day I've got right now as it is. I mean, that should be the prevalent thought. That should be the main thought in my head at this point over here. Feel grateful I'm still taking garbage out in the mornings. Some mornings anyway. Or getting laundry done when I can. Spending time with my dog. Going to the college courses. Doing the tubes. Doing the video tubes. I should just be enjoying life and should be dealing life and not stressing about upcoming deaths coming up. Because now, if I'm going to be focusing on the damn thing, it's going to be every single day. It's going to be it. 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 Until I reach the age of 60. And then after that, it's like, oh no! When my brother reached 60, it was probably already started before he reached his natal birthday. That he was already getting conditions set up for transischemic attacks in his skull. To where it took weeks to about a month or two for him to lose functionality regarding mobility and speech and understanding. They did an MRI on the guy. They did a CAT. They saw the damage. But they didn't see the damn thing happen before. They didn't have any before or afters. They just saw the damage. And they kept saying, well, therapy long term, you could regain. Wishy-washy stuff. It got to the point on the 8th of September, Doc. Sorry, Rev. I talked to my therapist about this one here, too. In perfect English and in perfect understanding, he was telling me he was in trouble breathing. Most days, after he got the diagnosis and it was getting bad for him, we barely had any conversations happening. We barely had him talking as much, where I could understand what he wants, and he was mostly frustrated and pissed off about it. This time, I saw him ashen white, terrified. The chair I'm sitting in, he sat in. And I had to sit in another chair watching him while I'm calling 911 and trying to get this area. I mean, it didn't look like this right now as it is. It was different. But I had to get the go bags ready. I mean, Dave was going in and out of hospitals. The last 2 or 3 years, I can't tell you how many times he kept going in an emergency room and regretted the crap out of it. So did I. The weirdest thing about it is he came back home that night, and then hours later he's got to go back as a meat slab. It's been 5 years, Rev. If you had a doctor in theology, I'd call you Doc. Sorry. It's been 5 years, Reverend. Some days, actually, I've had a lot of days having dreams about him mostly, and some about Ma. When I get into arguments with him, I woke, I wake up crying, not missing him. It's like, what did I do to piss him off this time? What did I do to upset my family? And sometimes I realize I missed that in life. I missed Ma getting pissed off at me and Dave, or just pissed off at me, or I'm pissed off at both of them. I missed. Sometimes that would happen. I missed the interaction. I missed them. Everything related to trigger words. Family is the major one. Sets me up because I know that I'm going to be crying like crazy. I know from experience. Been going through it too damn long. It kept my mind busy with college. Kept trying to succeed in nearly every class. I still wanted the college experience. I wanted to get that AA degree. I don't care how long it was going to take me. I was taking 2 classes at a time. I was trying to enjoy it, but also trying not to overload me as much. I'm close, very close. And after I graduate, I know what the hell's going on. I'll tell one more thing to you, Reverend. And this hurts like a son of a bitch. I think about the time or when I go on stage, my family won't be there. I know in spirit they would be, but it would have been nice to see my family. It would have been nice to see my smiling face, crying her eyeballs out, my brother crying his eyeballs out, and both happy. I went back to school just to fulfill a promise to Mom and to my big brother. I guess to God as well and me. I disappointed Ma too many damn times. And that time concerning my college, man, tore her ass apart. She never did complete high school. Hell, she never went to high school. But she was smart, she was intelligent, she had life choices hitting, and she couldn't go back to college. She couldn't go back to school to get her GED to get into college. And she had the smarts for it. I know she did. Tried to keep a business afloat, bookkeeping, income tax, business, numbers. She was good at numbers. Go in her head. Do crossword puzzles. I missed the crap out of her. It was hard as hell to see that first day. Mine already had the death growl. She already had the drool coming out. Dave and I didn't recognize until we brought the dogs back in and fought like hell to keep her alive until fire came by. And worked like hell on her. We got her barely stabilized, put her into the hospital. 19 days, sorry, bug war. 19 days. Excuse me. Get. Thank you. Bugs. 19 days she lingered. Dave, big brother, had felt as if there was a presence in the room where Ma was having her last days. Family would come by. Ma would talk to the family. The family had already been dead a long time ago. They're trying to reassure her it's going to be all right. There's nothing to it. Yeah, right. And then either there was Michael or Gabriel that came in. Yeah, one of the big guys. Dave felt something. Ma was talking to Gabriel. Who's Gabriel? Dave kept asking her. She wouldn't say. But he felt that cold presence right down his back. And then right in the room, it was so damn cold you couldn't even tell it was air conditioner on. It wasn't that cold of a night either, I don't think. But like hours before she passed away, I gave her final meal. I didn't think so, but it was pomelos. To this day, I hadn't had a pomelo. That kind of hurts like crazy. That hurts like hell, Reverend. And the day that she actually did pass her mortal coil, or actually the body did expire, he already filled out the damn paperwork. We had a friend of ours with us. We had a cry in the car, and it was raining. It was raining. Consistent. Dave and I kind of felt like maybe she was crying or everybody else was crying up in heaven. Every time we had rainstorms. Since then, I kept thinking about that. It was always raining because somebody was always crying. Yeah, another way to look at things. David, nothing else happened that day. It was bright and sunny, and he passed away. In between the time he got into the ambulance and the time he was rolled into the ER, because I didn't realize he died during that time. Until after they got him settled out, I guess, and they contacted me in the waiting room. There's the meat slab. Doc, there was a sick joke on this one. I'm going to end it off with this one. You can laugh if you want. Sometimes I thought it was humorous, but at the time now, it's not so much. Dave actually had surgery like about a year, maybe a little earlier than that, on his thigh. He had a boil on the left side of his thigh inside, killing him like crazy. So he had to go to the doctor. He thought it was just going to poke and lance it. No, they want to do surgery. Scheduled it for him. So we arranged transportation. He gets an outpatient surgery. He gets it excised with a little bit of tissue go along with it. And then they slap some bandages on it. Send him home. They're saying that he needs to get antibiotics for the damn thing. Not because, before the surgery, after the surgery to fight off the infections. Pills can only do so much. He needs to get an IV push. Central line. So they installed it on him. At the time when he had his legs operated on. And they talked to David about this one. Wish they talked to me because I was the primary caregiver for him. Next thing I know, he's coming home with an IV tube stuck in him. A nurse comes by and teaches us how to do an IV push on him. I had to be the one responsible for about a week or two. Those are one of those rattling things for me to go through. David trusted me, and I trusted him back. Oh, no. The first day we get the nurse coming over here to teach us about this situation here. I'm looking at his leg, and Dave's looking at me saying, all right, what's with the smirk, John? Nothing, Dave. Come on, say it. You can say it in front of her. Anybody for cold cuts? My brother and I laughed on that one and freaked the nurse out on that one. She never came back, but another nurse came by anyway to check on our progress. There was a joke inside of a joke. Long time ago when my brother was just before he got into the, well, actually, just before he got into the Navy, or after that, somewhere in that time zone. He went to work for a mortuary company as an attendant driver. Guys set up, guys transport, get bodies to and from, that kind of thing. So my brother's in the morgue and he's talking to one of the guys working in there. He just finished a job on a guy's head. There was a couple other guys in there just getting started in the mortuary business, but also working in the morgue. They hadn't seen what the guy's inside of a skull looks like. They were steps away from the body. My brother was close because he was fascinated. So it takes the one of the attendants who was working on the body, one of the mortician, not the morticians, one of the doctors in there. I think I don't know. Kind of got the story screwed up on that one and what kind of technician we're doing. Anyway, he takes the skull off, the cap of it off, and there's the brain exposed. My brother's going, cool. And when, some of the new guys are like, and running off. But this one really got the guy who was doing the autopsy on him, especially when the brain plopped out. And my brother was fast enough to catch it. And he's looking at it. And he says, anybody for cold cuts? My brother was a smartass. My brother was a smartass. And it was during that time that he was being a smartass. He told me that one so many damn times. I'm like, yeah, that's my brother for you. And seeing his thigh with meat exposed. I was looking at the human body. I'm looking at the human muscles at this point over here. And the only thing you come across is I'm looking at it, and it reminded me of meat you get from a deli. My brother and I had ate a lot of deli meat. Pastrami, corned beef. There's always a texture and marbling to it. So my brother and I are looking at the thing, and it's no wonder my brother and I shared the joke on this one because it freaked out the lady technician there, and she just never came back because I had to say it. Anybody for cold cuts? And my brother and I laughed at the damn thing. It was so gruesome. The only thing it could do was laugh at the damn thing. So here's the thing concerning about when my brother's body came into the emergency room. I fought like hell to keep him alive. I didn't see my brother's face. All I saw was his body, and I yelled and screamed, "Get up, you damn SEAL! Get up!" Long story on this one. I'll do videos when I can on this military history. I almost had security throw me out. I was yelling and screaming at a dead body. The shock of it all. There was a joke just before I wigged, and that memory came in there probably either to tell me that Dave was all right. It wasn't all right. He was dead. He was dead. And I couldn't deal with it. You talk about being a broken man, Rev. You're looking at him. Anyway, I'll be posting these. I'll probably be buried alive in a vid links, but I'll be posting these things. Said before, Rev, we needed to talk, and I needed to get this off my chest.